Oh, yes. Yes, people, it's Joffski. I'm a filmmaker from Sheffield, and you're locked in to Decoded.
Where did the name Joffski come from?
The name Joffski? It came from my friend P. One morning, 2021, who was in Newcastle, and I woke up to being called Joffrey. My real name is Jack Godfrey. He somehow merged Jack Godfrey together for Joffrey, and then just skiing it, just Joffski, Joff.ski.
What initially had you so engrossed in filmmaking or documenting? Like, what was the birth of your film journey?
I was just fixated on films as a kid. Like, that was my love language. That I'd go to infant school, junior school, and you just say, what you watched this week, what you've been watching, and then you'd play. For example, we'd watched Zombieland or something, and in the play park, we'd reenact scenes from Zombieland, but then we'd just do it in a way of bringing your own twist in it, and just on like a play. And it's always just been a play for me, like films, stories, everything. The best medium of storytelling for me is film, and I've always been a storyteller, so.
At what point did you actually realize that you were good at it? Were you encouraged, first of all, to do it by your peers? And at what point did you actually think to yourself, do you know what, I'm going to pursue this thing?
It's a good question. I think I was always encouraged by people from making films since I was about 9 years old in school. A lot of my friends always used to just absolutely gas it. Shout out to my mum as well. She was just the best in terms of just encouraging me and inspiring me every single day. Shout out to my teachers as well. Teachers, really, really good people. I just sort of knew from a very young age that I wanted to do acting, but it was never really a thing that I had like a lot of creative control over. It just found itself back into filmmaking. Like Steven Spielberg said it best, like your dream always whispers at you, and it always just whispered. The filmmaking stuff, it always whispered.
You are renowned for your exceptional understanding of the creative vision from an artist's perspective, but it's not just that you actually do. So like, what other things do you do within the film realm that are not just directly music videos or reels?
So I'm a massive horror fan. I love horror films. I've always made horror films. That's how I got into actually filmmaking, is through horror films, scary films. The art of scaring someone always used to enjoy me. So I always used to enjoy it. So I am lining myself up to make feature films one day, whether that's in the horror genre, action, thriller, crime, everything. I just love storytelling, and even through music videos, it's just a form of storytelling. And if you can just align yourself with that frequency as much as you can, you will get to that ultimatum that you set yourself. So yeah, I love films, yeah.
All right, what's your best film? Top 3 films.
Top 3 films?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know how much I hate this question, bro? Honestly, I can't pick a top 3, but I can always pick recent films or films that have inspired me. One film that blew me away with its writing and its script was Quentin Tarantino's *Inglourious Basterds*. That was the way that was written was impeccable in terms of dialogue. A recent film that really inspired me into start writing again was *Dead Man's Shoes* by Shane Meadows, filmed in Matlock, which was very local. Brilliant film, brilliant film. Got you on the edge of your seat, quite literally. And just the comedies, I love comedies. Like Step Brothers, obviously just an absolute banger, just quotable, super bad, but a really, really good comedy that I've always loved is Hot Fuzz by Edgar Wright. And that really inspired me as well, just for it's quotable. If it's quotable, it's a good film, so.
Best comedian of all time?
My favourite comedian will always be Peter Kay. He gets me howling every time. Just his humour is the best.
If you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be and why?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. If I could collab with anyone, back onto what I just said, it would be Edgar Wright. I love his filmmaking. I love his way of writing scripts. And every single interview I see with him, he just seems like a very good person, and he aligns perfectly with what I represent. So I'd love to collaborate with Edgar Wright.
What's one tool or piece of gear or software that you couldn't live without?
Premiere Pro. It's just renowned. Even if I didn't have a camera, I'd still find a way to, stock footage and make something of something. iPhones. So it is just Premiere Pro. You can do absolutely anything on that app.
What was your first thing that you actually made?
Oh my gosh. The first thing I ever actually made, it was called, right? Right. So I got my camera when I was about 8, 9 years old. We went out onto the school play, well, not the school, it was like the park. Finished up school, 3 o'clock. Got my camera. I said to everyone at school, I said, we're filming a movie tonight. I said, we're all filming a movie. Everyone came, said, there must have been about 30 people there. And we called it, I called it Camp Possession. And I spelt possession, it was like possession. And I put that on YouTube and everyone in school just went crazy. Like, they were like, oh my God, I'm there, Ramsey can see me. So after that, it was just, it just all started.
What element of filmmaking do you enjoy the most?
When creative ideas combine and everyone gets that look, in you go.
What's a creative risk you've taken that's really paid off?
A creative risk would be purchasing all of my equipment and not having any sort of like, in terms of a business standpoint, having no clientele, having no presence within the scene, but having all the equipment I have today.
How do you deal with creative blocks, and what advice would you give to others facing them?
Take some time off, always take your time off. Don't pick up the phone. Don't feel obliged to have to contact people and do things and force yourself to do things. Like, if your phone's ringing about jobs and stuff like that, like, just take 2 steps back. And if the right people respect that space, the people who don't really respect your creative vision, in a sense, and your creative energy, it's definitely something that you must protect. And the best thing to do is don't force anything and just completely drop all sort of rushing and like aggravating energy into trying creating something, because that will never work. It's the art of just peacefulness.
What's the most common misconception people have about what you do?
That I'm a videographer. I'm not a video. I don't do clubs. I don't do restaurant videos. I don't do anything that. I make music. I direct. And I've got a story to tell, and I don't do any of this business corporate stuff. What's
one skill outside your field that you've always wanted to learn?
I wanted to learn the drums for a while, but I've always wanted to sing, like proper sing. So I can play guitar, but I can't sing. So.
But what would be your top 3 Marvel films?
That's a brilliant question. First, Guardians of the Galaxy, serious film. Probably Avengers Infinity War, that was serious. Number 1, I will stand by this forever, is Captain America Winter Soldier. That is the best Marvel film, that is the best, without shadow of a doubt. The fight scenes in that film, oh my God. Score, soundtrack, directing, cinematography, acting, just a beautiful film. For a superhero film, beautiful film.
What would you say to a younger self?
I would say to my younger self, everything's gonna be all right. Exactly, not the way that you intended, but better.
How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered through my work, so I'm not too bothered about being remembered for being Jack or Joffski. I just want to be remembered through impactful and emotional storytelling that will resonate with people throughout the span of time.
Favorite place in the world so far?
In a little park in Berlin. That was one of my favourite places I've been. It was just out of the centre of Berlin. It was in a beautiful park.
Outside of music or film or the arts, what's a guilty pleasure?
Middle Eastern food. It's not really a guilty pleasure, I just love it. I love pop punk music, like old, like emo music, all of that. Lego, I love Lego. Lego's serious. I've got no Lego on me or my arm, but if someone got me a Lego set now, I'd sit and build it.
What's your go-to cheap meal?
Probably a burger, just a big burger, fries, just something.
What are your top 3 goals you want to achieve in 2025?
I'd say my fitness and physique goals that I've had since I was a little kid. I've always wanted a 6-pack, I've never had one. So I'm trying to get one this year. Some peace, I want to just be able to prioritise peace and just quietness and stillness. Work-wise, get back onto the feature films and start making some good short films this year.
What would your question be for the next guest?
What piece of work has truly inspired you down to your core recently? Boom!